like to wish everyone a beautiful, beautiful Shabbos. I hope everyone had a beautiful week. If you can just, before I start the vote, let me just answer the song Yehuda ben Shifra, Lavi Yitzchak ben Devorah Chaya, Lavi Yitzchak ben Devorah Chaya, and Plummet Rachel ben Miriam. Plummet Rachel ben Miriam. And one more. By Miriam Liba Bas Devorah. Miriam Liba Bas Devorah. You're down for this calling, I appreciate it. So this week's Parshas Noach. So I think the first one is from Moshe Shor from Lakewood, but I might be switching around a little bit. But you notice that the Torah starts, the Parshas starts, the Eila tells Noach, Tzadik, it mentions how Noach Hashem Cham v'Yafet. And only then does Hashem start to tell Noach about the marble, or why Hashem is going to destroy the world. So there's a concept in Yiddishkeit that before you get sick, Hashem already created healing. Before the chola, Hashem created the refuah. The refuah comes before the sickness. So that's why Hashem told us about Noah. Because Hashem is teaching us this concept. Hashem is telling us that before he does any gzar din, the refuah is already set in. Because Noah and his children are going to, and his wives, of course, and daughter-in-laws, are going to rebuild the world. They're going to build Olam Hazeh again. They're going to rebuild the Olam. And that's why Hashem tells us about Noach before the marble. So Hashem saying these are the people, Noach and his children and his wife and daughter-in-laws are the one who's going to build the Olam, the world, after the marble. So Hashem's telling us, don't worry, the world is not getting destroyed. There will be human beings and of course Bnei Yisrael. But Yisachar friend told him, Shabbos Rabin, for Shabbos Rabin said a beautiful word also. Noach ish tzaddik, tamim haya b'doasav. Why, if he's a tzaddik, we know he's tamim b'doasav. Why does the Torah have to illustrate all those descriptions of Noach? Sefer called Shabbos Rabin said a beautiful verse. Ish tzaddik means Noach was a tzaddik when it was just him and Hashem alone in his house. When just him and Hashem alone, when there's only Noach and Hashem alone in his house, Noach was a tzaddik. But Tamim Haya B'Dosav, when Noach was among other people of the generation, when Noach was among the other individuals of his generation, he was also a tzaddik. He was Tamim. And Shabbos Rabin says, and you see this from the next pasuk, V'tishachet lifnei Hashem Elokeinu, v'tim alei haaretz chamas. The generation where he was living in wanted to destroy Hashem when they were alone in their own houses. Noach said, no, I'm going to be a tzaddik in my own house. And then the generation, when we're among people, we're going to steal. Noah said, no, I'm going to be a tamim maya. That's why the Torah is praising him. Whether he was alone in the house or with other people, he was a tzaddik. He always followed the ways of Hashem Noach. But Yisachar friend told an incredible, beautiful word. It's very perplexing. Noach was building a teva for 120 years. I don't know about you, but if I was walking down the street and see someone building a teva, I'd ask him, why are you building a teva? And I'd probably come to believe him. I'll change my ways to serve Hashem. What Yisachar friend said, why didn't Noach influence one person? Even one person he did not influence. Noach did not even cause one person to change their ways and serve Hashem. Why not? So Yisachar friend said, because the Rashi says the best, Mamin ve'eno mamin. Noach believed but didn't believe. What it means is that Noach believed in the marble but did not fully believe in the marble. Meaning Noach, I guess you can say Noach wasn't fully believing that there was going to be a marble. Noach did not really fully believe in the ways, in Hashem telling him that there's going to be a marble. And when you don't believe in something, it's hard to influence other people in believing. When you tell someone keep Shabbos, but you really don't believe in it, then the person you're talking to is not going to listen to you either, because he or she's going to pick up right away. You don't believe in Shabbos, so why should I believe in Shabbos? I'm talking about Hashem and the Shabbos, of course. So that's Mamin ve'eno mamin. Noach believed the marble was going to come, but they're not fully believing it, and it's hard to have influence in other people when you don't believe in it. And you can add on this that's why Noach had to be pushed into the teva by the water, because eno mamin, he didn't fully believe there was going to be a marble. And there's an incredible story where Moshe Feinstein Zatzal, I don't want to misquote him, but I believe the story was about when Moshe Feinstein Zatzal, that they said after the war, some Jews came over, some Yidden, came to America. Now, some Jews, not all, but some Jews, some Yidden, told their children, some Jews said, "Oh, it's so hard to be a Fum Yid in America. It's just so hard to be a Fum Yid in America." When Moshe Feinstein said those people who say that it's hard to be a Fum Yid, their children are going to go off the derech. Their children are not going to keep the Torah mitzvahs. And that's what ended up happening. Because when you don't fully believe in something, you can't influence other people. You can't have an impact on other people when you don't fully believe in it yourself. And I'll tell you one more beautiful story before we go to the next word. I believe it's Yitzchak Zilberstein. I believe it's a Yitzchak Zilberstein in Israel. There was Yitzchak Zilberstein was give shiur night, and there was one guy who used to come all the time, and he'd fall asleep on the shiur. He'd always fall asleep. So after the shiur one time, Yitzchak Zilberstein said politely, I realize you're tired because you're after work. Maybe just, go stay home and go to sleep bed earlier. It'd be better for you to go to sleep earlier in the bed. So the guy told Yitzchak Zilberstein, you know why I'm here? I don't know how to learn Torah. I don't understand Torah. I don't have the zechus ever to understand Torah learning. But the reason, I'm guessing also he's saying because I was exhausted also for coming to work. After work he's exhausted. I'm exhausted from work also. But the reason I come is because I want my children to think that I'm going to learn Torah. If they think that I'm going to learn Torah, that will have an influence on them. There's a story where someone believes in the Torah, so his children are going to go in the ways of Torah also. But Baruch Horowitz, he's a Rosh Yeshiva Bavov. I think it's a Chozeh Lublin said this. Ma'amin ve'eno ma'amin. He gave a different explanation. Ma'amin ve'eno ma'amin. His explanation was that Hashem told Noach, "You're a tzaddik," and then right afterwards, we saw that Noach had to be pushed into the teva. So what's going on? So I think the Chozeh Lublin said this, but Rabbi Horowitz told me the word personally. Ma'amin, when Hashem told Noach he was a tzaddik, he believed he was a tzaddik. He believed that he was a tzaddik. But a couple of seconds later, Eino Ma'amin, he didn't really believe he was a tzaddik anymore. He goes, "Nah, I'm not a tzaddik. I'm not a tzaddik anymore. I don't deserve to be saved. I'm not a tzaddik. I don't deserve to be saved from the marble." And that's why that's why he had to be pushed into the marble, because he didn't believe he was a tzaddik anymore. I have two more quick words, beautiful words. I think the Brisker Rav might have said this word. After Dor Haflaga, those were then building they were building a tower, a building to reach Hashem. So Hashem caused that not only did they have different language, they all speak different languages, but they also had to be spread around the whole world. So the Brisker Rav said, why can't you just do one? Just do that they all speak different languages. They won't be able to communicate with each other. So I believe the Brisker Rav said this word. He said the pshat is that yes, even if they speak different languages, if they all have the same mission to try to reach Hashem, which is impossible, they're going to find ways to communicate with each other. Even so they don't speak the same language, they're going to find ways to communicate with each other. And the opposite way, if Hashem spreads them all the way, puts them in all different countries around the world, they'll for sure, but they still speak the same language, they'll for sure try to find ways to get together again and continue building that tower. So the Brisker Rav, I think, said that's why Hashem had to do both of them. Cause them that they don't know how to they all speak different languages, so they don't understand each other, and they have to be put in all different parts of the world. One last word, I believe it's Shmuel Birnbaum, the Ramban. I know Moshe Tavilief, I think, told me this. Someone said it might be Berner Weinberger from Shemin HaTov. But but Or Kastim, where Avram Avinu, at the end of the Parsha, Avram Avinu walked through the fire, because and he did it for the sake of Hashem, because he told I believe in you, Hashem, whatever. He had to walk through the fire. But if we notice, it's not mentioned anywhere in the Chumash. It might be a Rashi, a Medrash, but it's not mentioned. This was incredible. Avram Avinu, as you can say, first test, he was willing to give up his life to serve Hashem, to walk through a fire, and it's not mentioned. So you know what they all said? Because in Yiddishkeit, in Judaism, we live to live. We don't live to die. We live to live. We don't live to die. And that's why you can say the Torah did not mention Avram Avinu going through the fire. Because Hashem wants to say to the Jewish people, us, Bnei Yisrael, even in 5777, we're here to live. We live to live. We don't live to die. And I'll leave you off with one quick halacha. Rabbi Yoshev Zatzal, He said, I think when you say when let's say you're davening in a shul and they're all saying Aleinu, you're supposed to get up and bow down, even and if you can't say Aleinu with them. Well, Yashiv Zatzal said, let's say you're up to Tachanun and they're up to Aleinu. You took a longish Shemona Esrei and they're up to Aleinu. You're up to Tachanun. Well, Yashiv Zatzal said, if you're saying Tachanun, with your head down or that, you do not need to get up to say Aleinu with them. Obviously, when you're saying Tachanun, I guess the whole thing, even Shema Yisrael, you do not need to get up to say Aleinu with the tzibo, with the shul, if you're a middle of Tachanun. I'd like to wish everyone a Gavaldik Shabbos and hope everything's going well. And Mir Hashem, next week I'll leave more Divrei Torah.